Tim Lake is a quiet, kind-hearted young man living in a beautiful seaside village in Cornwall, England. His life is simple. He spends his days with his loving family, his father, his mother, his funny little sister, Kit Kat, and their cheerful Uncle Desmond. They live in an old, charming house full of warmth and laughter. On his 21st birthday, Tim's father asks to speak with him privately. Tim is expecting a normal father-son talk, maybe advice about work or love. But what his dad tells him changes his life forever. "Tim," his father says calmly, "there's something you need to know. The men in our family can travel in time." At first, Tim laughs, thinking it's a joke, but his father insists. He explains that the men in the Lake family have a unique gift. They can go back to moments in their own past, not into the future, not into someone else's life, only into their own history. Tim doesn't believe him, so his father tells him to try it. "Go into a dark place," he says. "Clench your fists. Think of a specific moment you want to return to, and you'll be there." Curious, but skeptical, Tim goes into a dark closet, closes his eyes, and imagines a moment from a few days ago. The New Year's Eve party where he was too shy to kiss a girl at midnight. When he opens his eyes, the world around him changes. He's back at the party. The music plays, people laugh, and the clock counts down. This time he gathers his courage and kisses the girl as fireworks light up the sky. A few seconds later, he returns to the present, back in his room, shaking with disbelief. It worked. The kiss happened. The gift is real. Excited, Tim rushes to his father, who smiles knowingly. "It's not a joke," he says. "But remember, this power won't make you rich or famous. Use it to make your life and the lives of the people you love better." That night, Tim lies awake, thinking about all the possibilities. He can fix mistake, say the right things, and maybe even find love. For the first time in his life, the future feels wide open. But Tim doesn't yet understand that even with the power to change time, some things in life, love, loss, and happiness, are meant to be experienced, not controlled. After discovering his incredible power, Tim Lake decides to use it for something most people dream of: finding love. He moves from his quiet hometown in Cornwall to busy London to start a new chapter of his life. He rents a small room in a friend's apartment and begins working as a lawyer. But deep down, he's not focused on work. He's hoping to meet someone special. One evening, Tim's friend takes him to a blind restaurant, a unique place where people eat in complete darkness. The idea is simple. When you can't see, you listen more closely and connections feel deeper. In that pitch-black room, Tim meets Mary. She's funny, sweet, and just a little bit awkward, the perfect match for him. They talk for hours, laughing and sharing stories. Even without seeing her face, Tim feels something real. When the dinner ends and the lights come back on, Mary leaves her phone number in his hand. For the first time, Tim feels like his life is changing for the better. He rushes home, smiling, holding that small piece of paper like a treasure. But before he can call her, everything goes wrong. His roommate's girlfriend, a playwright, asks Tim to help her fix a problem with her show using time travel. Tim agrees and goes back to an earlier night to help her. But when he returns to the present, something terrible happens. His meeting with Mary never happened. Because he changed the timeline, their magical dinner in the dark never took place. Heartbroken, Tim realizes he's lost the best thing that's ever happened to him. But he refuses to give up. Using his power and a bit of clever detective work, he tracks Mary down again, this time in a completely different situation. She doesn't know him at all, but Tim remembers everything. He starts over, reintroducing himself with charm and honesty. Mary laughs, smiles, and soon they fall in love all over again. To Tim, it feels like a second chance written by fate itself. Over time, their connection grows deeper. They go on dates, watch movies, walk through London at night, and share small, beautiful moments that make life feel extraordinary. Tim learns something new about love. Even with time travel, the best relationships come from being real, not perfect. By the end of this chapter, Tim knows one thing for sure. He's found the woman he wants to spend his life with. Tim and Mary's love story grows stronger every day. From that first magical meeting to long walks in the rain, their relationship feels like something out of a dream. But unlike a fairy tale, their love isn't perfect. It's real. Tim's secret power allows him to go back in time whenever things go wrong. If he says something awkward, he just steps into a closet, closes his eyes, and fixes it. If a date goes badly, he tries again until it's perfect. For a while, it feels like the secret to a flawless relationship. But as time goes on, Tim begins to realize that perfection doesn't make life meaningful. The little mistakes do. The moments they laugh at themselves, the times things don't go as planned. That's what makes their story feel alive. Soon, Tim decides to do something big. He proposes to Mary. He doesn't use time travel to make it flawless. He wants it to be natural, honest, and real. One quiet night, he simply tells her how much she means to him and asks her to marry him. Mary smiles, tears in her eyes, and says yes. Their wedding day is filled with laughter, music, and chaos, just like life itself. It rains, people forget their lines, and someone trips during a speech. But to Tim and Mary, it's absolutely perfect. Surrounded by family and friends, they dance, they cry, and they promise to spend their lives together. After the wedding, life begins to move quickly. Tim and Mary settle into a cozy home. They decorate it together, argue about furniture, and stay up late watching movies. Their life is simple but full of love. Tim's father, who also has the same time travel ability, often gives him advice. He reminds Tim that the secret to happiness isn't changing the past, it's living the present fully. The two share many quiet moments together, reading, walking on the beach, or just sitting in silence. Then, Tim and Mary's lives change forever. They have a baby girl. The moment Tim holds her in his arms, he feels something he's never felt before. A love so powerful, he can't imagine ever losing it. As he watches his daughter grow, Tim becomes more careful with his time travel. He knows that changing the past could affect her existence. He learns to accept life's imperfections, to let time move forward naturally. Through it all, Tim realizes that the most beautiful moments are often the simplest. A family breakfast, a bedtime story, or a quiet hug after a long day. Life isn't perfect, but it's real. And for Tim, that's the most magical thing of all. Life for Tim and Mary seems peaceful. Their little family grows, filled with laughter, bedtime stories, and quiet mornings. Tim feels truly happy. He has love, purpose, and joy. But time has a way of testing even the strongest hearts. Tim's father, who has always been his guide and best friend, begins to look tired. His voice grows weaker, his smile softer. One day, the truth arrives like a heavy shadow. His father is sick. Very sick. There's nothing anyone can do. For Tim, the world feels like it's breaking apart. The man who taught him everything about time travel, about life, about love, is slipping away. But Tim has something others don't. He can go back. He can relive moments with his father whenever he wants. And he does. They walk on the beach together again. They play ping pong in the living room like when Tim was a boy. They talk for hours about life, not about regrets, but about love and the beauty of ordinary days. Tim's father gives him one last piece of advice, one that will change how Tim sees everything. Live each day twice. The first time, just get through it. The second time, notice how beautiful it is. After that, Tim starts doing exactly that. He lives every day fully, then relives it just to appreciate the small details he missed before. The smell of coffee, the sound of laughter, the feeling of the sun through the window. But even with this gift, time still moves forward. His father passes away, and Tim is heartbroken. For a while, he keeps going back, visiting him again and again. But eventually, he realizes something painful. He can't live in the past forever. If he keeps going back, he'll never move forward. Then, Mary becomes pregnant again. Tim faces an impossible choice. He can go back to see his father, but if he changes the past now, it might change his children. They could become someone else entirely. He understands what he must do. He visits his father one last time. On that final day, they walk together along the beach, laughing softly, knowing it's goodbye. Tim doesn't cry. He smiles through the pain, grateful for every second they shared. When he returns, he holds his wife and children close. The world feels smaller without his father, but the love remains in every heartbeat, in every moment. Tim finally understands. Time travel can't save us from loss. It can only remind us how precious every moment is. After saying goodbye to his father, Tim's world feels quieter, slower. For the first time in his life, he begins to live without rushing, without rewinding. He doesn't stop time anymore. He doesn't travel back to fix mistakes. He simply lives. Days turn into months and months into years. His daughter grows taller, smarter, funnier. His second child arrives, another tiny miracle who fills their home with laughter. Mary and Tim still have arguments, still face chaos and stress, but now Tim sees beauty in all of it. He remembers his father's final advice: live each day twice, once to survive it and once to truly live it. But now, Tim chooses to live each day just once, fully, deeply, with no need to repeat it. He wakes up and listens to the sound of rain outside the window. He watches Mary sleep for a few seconds longer. He makes breakfast for his kids even when he's tired. He walks them to school, holding their hands, feeling every small heartbeat of life. At work, he smiles more. He laughs with his friends. He doesn't rush home to rewind mistakes. He accepts them, learns from them, and lets them go. He begins to understand something powerful. The magic of time travel isn't about changing the past. It's about realizing how beautiful the present already is. Sometimes He still misses his father deeply. He thinks about those beach walks, their quiet talks, and the lessons hidden in those moments. But now, instead of going back, he closes his eyes, remembers, and smiles. Every memory becomes a gift, every second a treasure. One day, as he plays with his children in the park, Mary looks at him and asks, "What are you thinking about?" He smiles softly and says, "Nothing special, just how lucky I am to live this ordinary, perfect life." The truth is, nothing about Tim's life is ordinary. He's learned the greatest lesson of all. You don't need to control time to live fully. You just need to be present, here, now, in this exact moment. The world keeps moving forward, as it always does. But Tim no longer fears time. Instead, he walks beside it. And that was the story of About Time, a movie that reminds us that life's true magic isn't hidden in the past or the future, but right here in the present moment. Tim's journey teaches us that even if we could change everything, fix every mistake, redo every day, it still wouldn't make life perfect. Because perfection isn't the goal. The goal is to feel, to live, to love, to laugh, and to be grateful for every second we have. Every smile, every hug, every tear, they all matter. So the next time you wake up, take a deep breath. Look around. Notice something simple. The sound of the wind, a small laugh, the light in someone's eyes. And realize that's time well spent. Because in the end, it's not about how many days we live, it's about how deeply we live them. Thank you for watching today's story on English and Popcorn, where you improve your English through powerful movies and emotional storytelling. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. What moment in your life would you relive if you could? Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, life is happening right now.